It's electric football.
Election night coverage!
Electric election night coverage by Steven Stew, the man who wear backwards numbers.
Yeah, I'm number 3, or E, as they say.
I'm G or -6 as far as I think I'm a negative number. I know I was a negative number when I played football, that's for sure. Browns at Ravens. This is not as tight as Clinton, Trump, but go ahead, Stu.
Yeah, why would anyone pick anyone but Baltimore in this game? What can you do? Cleveland is so bad. There's no reason that I would pick them. The Ravens beat a Pittsburgh team that is either really bad now, or the Baltimore Ravens defense is pretty good. I'm hard pressed to say what the answer is to that. But either way, I think this is an easy win for the Ravens, and a really early night for everybody that watches football on Thursday.
Or Ben was still hurt and sort of a victim of his own press clippings. Oh, Ben Roethlisberger always comes back quickly from his injuries. He's one of the toughest quarterbacks of all time. But he was throwing like ground balls. He was throwing like underhand.
Didn't watch the game.
Worm burners. He was clearly not 100%. But the Ravens are on a win streak. However you want to look at that win. They're at home. They're going against the Browns. The Browns remind me of like, if any of you had a younger brother or a friend who had a younger brother and was about 4 inches shorter than you and would try and play you in one-on-one and you knew you could post them up and score anytime you wanted to.
That is the Browns.
But they try really hard. They're like pulling on you and hacking, and they go in the house and cry after they lose.
Yeah.
You let them get close, but then you hit the hook shot to beat them. That's kind of the Browns. I'm not in love with the Ravens, but I'm in love with them in this game. Texans, Jags, keep going, Stu. You're on a roll.
Rod Brockweiler versus Blake Bortles. Lamar Miller healthy versus an average defense here. The Jags kept it close against the Chiefs, which surprised me a little bit. And I'm going to go with a bit of an upset here. I think Fuller and Hopkins might be able to have a decent day against the Texans secondary. And I am going to pull for a Jaguars home win.
I think you confused me there. Fuller and Hopkins going against the Texans secondary?
Sorry, did I say that?
Yes, I believe you did.
See,
So wait, who do you pick in this one?
Right. Texans.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Actually, well rested. Jags at 2-6.
I need to read my notes better.
The Jags are another team that play it, hard, keep it close, and manage to lose. And at some point, you look up and you go, we're 2-6. We're trended in the wrong direction. Blake keeps throwing big interceptions. They've also got one of the wide receivers has a concussion. There's in the protocol, I believe. So I like the Texans in this one too. Broncos at Saints. I'm going to do this one.
Yeah, you started
I
very
like that
up.
little. What's that?
You do it because I screwed up that so badly. I can't read.
I like this little Drew Brees to win this game. I think. What's the saying? It's hard to eat when you're full. I think the Broncos are having a little bit of that, Super Bowl hangover right now. I think teams are starting to figure out how to shut them down offensively, and
there's not a lot of offense in Denver.
Right, exactly. And the Saints, are open. I didn't quite get my chair back in the right spot after our stupid little open. Anyway, Drew Brees is the type of quarterback that is experienced, can handle this pressure, can sling the ball around to who is ever open, will read the Broncos defense and get rid of it before he's decapitated. Mm-hmm. They're at home, and the Saints are always tough at home. I'm going to take a little bit of an upset here. I like the Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints, if they can replicate what the Raiders did, and they have much better horses on offense than the Raiders do, theoretically, I think this can go to a Saints win. Mark Ingram came alive, and that's exactly what Drew Brees needs. He needs a running back where he doesn't have to throw 55 times a game. Broncos are realizing Simmons, whatever his name is.
Broncos are realizing
what is his name? How do you say that? Simeon is not the guy, and I think the Saints win one here in the Big Easy.
You don't want to recognize Seaman.
Is it Fleet Week?
Rams at Jets, and talk about a team whose season just ended on a huge special teams play by your boys. But also Wilkerson and Richardson are like not showing up for meetings now.
They were late and got benched.
Yeah, like as if which was the guy that was speeding in the Bentley at like 120 miles? It was one of these two guys. Anyway, you need, when the team is down, you need leadership on both sides of the ball. Fitzpatrick has not been able to be the leader. On the offensive side, it's probably Marshall. And these are the two guys, along with Revis, who should be the leaders of the defense. And these two guys are showing, I give up. I applaud Todd Bowles for benching him for a quarter. I think if Todd Bowles wants to keep that team, he should have benched him for a half or a game. And I think if Todd Bowles wants to keep that job, he needs to get control of the locker room now.
Yeah.
He needs to go ahead and switch over to one of the young quarterbacks, Petty or Hackenberg, and he needs to show his bosses, this is where we're going in the future, and the future ain't going to include Muhammad and Sheldon because they're not buying in. So if you don't want to be a one-year coach, now's the time to go, okay,
Yeah.
we tried it this season. It didn't work. Whatever, Fitzmagic wasn't able to come back here. We got Fitzpatrick instead of Fitzmagic. Time to move ahead. And if he can get some development and a couple of late wins, they're not going to the playoffs.
No.
Bowles might save his job, and I want to see him save his job, though he is the least emotional coach I think I've ever seen.
Philbin.
Well, okay, there you go. Anyway, I like the Rams easy in this one. I think the Jets
Really?
have quit, and I think they're losing the locker room. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now, and I think it's clear when your two defensive stars don't show up on time that they are tossing it in for the season.
I'm going to disagree. The Rams can't run, so they're going to throw anyway.
Yeah, what the hell happened to Todd Gurley?
Who knows? I guess it's the offensive line here. Fitzpatrick is done. Finito. Don't stick with him. Go to Bryce Petty and the Heartbreakers. I think it's time to see what he can do here.
Nice.
I am taking the Jets here. That's because I just don't trust the Rams. The Rams are going to come to the East Coast with that ramshackle offense. Ooh, see what I did there?
I like it.
I didn't even write that. And I don't think they can do it. I think the Jets rebound and win this game.
See, and I think the Jets are free falling.
Nice improv there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chiefs at Panthers. I'll let you go with this one because I think this is the hardest game of the week to call.
Okay, but we missed Falcons Eagles.
We missed Falcons Eagles because I missed Falcons Eagles. So go, Stu.
All right, so it's the best game of the week, the Falcons and the Eagles. Which
Wouldn't want to miss
sounds like a
the
movie.
best game of the week, would you,
No,
folks?
no, just skip right over it. The Falcons kind of stumbled a little last week, and they only scored 43 points. The Eagles will look to stop the high-flying Matt Ryan to Julio Jones duo, and I don't know that they can do that. Wentz could have a good day against a pretty bad defense here, but I think the Falcons can score one more than Philadelphia here, and I am going to take the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I like Matt Ryan is having an awesome season. Julio Jones is having an awesome season. I like the Falcons' running game. And, Carson Wentz, after the hot start, maybe it fell off after that Detroit game, but he has fallen off a bit. You're not hearing like, oh, my God, he's a wonder child anymore. You're hearing, hey, he's showing some rookie tendencies. So you got to go with the experienced quarterback and the unstoppable wide receiver and a complementary running game like you were talking about before. Now let's go, Chief Panthers. And Stu, let's have you do this.
All right,
one,
well,
too.
the Panthers seem to be finding their way again, and they did it. The Chiefs are ripe for a loss here. They barely beat the Jaguars, and I think the Panthers at home have a much better team, obviously, than the Jaguars. Cam is getting too many hits to the head, though. I saw another one again, right in the chin, and nothing's being called. I don't understand what that is. Is Alex Smith still out? I didn't.
No, he is going to be in this.
Okay, that might change things a little, but either way, I'm taking the Panthers at home. I just think they've found their way, and the Chiefs are not a scary offense.
They are now that they got Niall Davis back. I think Spencer Ware is still questionable for the game, but I heard Alex Smith is going to be in.
Okay.
Nick Foles, good fill-in. That's where you need that depth. I mean, that's the kind of game that can make a difference when it comes to the end of the end of the year and playoff positioning. A Nick Foles, a decent backup quarterback that can come in for a game or two. Panthers are on a bit of a roll. Panthers are the best 3-5 team talent-wise out there. It's been a mystery what's happened with them.
Can't tell you.
You would think after all the whining and all the attention, reasonable complaint, however you want to look at it, that in the pocket headshots to Cam would stop. They just aren't.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, and not because he's my fantasy quarterback.
And Carolina's at home in this game, so it's the records don't speak to this game, and I have the Chiefs circled, but just barely. I like the Chiefs in this one, but you could coin toss this one.
Okay.
Bears Bucks, and this one's easy for me. I like the Bucks in a rout.
Okay. That's interesting. It's still Jay Cutler.
Well,
and
I'm a little pissed at the Bears for what they did to my Halloween.
Yeah, what the hell was Jay Cutler? All of a sudden, he's Tom Brady for a day, and that'll end. It is Jay Cutler.
Well, they had a running game, is what it was.
Yeah, and I don't think they can score as many as they did against the Vikings here. I think the Bucs defense is good enough to stop them, at least on the road here. I bet the Bucs are a little more prepared for this one. I think the Bears are just going to come in and go, see what we did to the Vikings, and then blow it. I'm taking the Buccaneers as well.
Speaking of my Vikings, we go against the team from Washington, and nobody's really sure who's going to be leading in Washington, are they?
No, not yet.
And if anybody's going to be able to lead in Washington, no, Clinton got 3 from Vermont.
Yeah, it's 7:45 on election night.
Trump took Indiana and Kentucky, I believe. So 19-3 when I walked out, and that's what I think the
Just
score.
2 touchdowns.
I think that's what the score of the Vikings game is going to be. I'm picking the Vikes,
Wow.
even though Norv Turner just like, hey, I'm done. I'll see you. Yeah,
Yeah.
And Blair Walsh, man, if he's going to snap his neck looking over his shoulder because since the kick against Seattle in the playoffs or the miss against Seattle in the playoffs, he's been a mess. And you lose a game that you should have won, and you look at the kicker and he missed points. He left points on the board. And you look at what's supposed to be our strength, our defense, 23 seconds left,
Wow.
And then you look at, what's his name, Prater for Detroit, who just doesn't miss pressure kicks. Does not miss them. I think he had 9 or 10 kicks to either tie or win in the fourth, and he's 9 for 9. So I'd like Matt Prater to come over to the Vikings.
Well, the Favre thing worked out.
We weren't as good as 5-0, and we weren't as bad as 0-3.
Right.
I like us to right the ship a little bit here, as long as our offensive line can keep Kerrigan and Trent Murphy off of Bradford. I don't know if they will be able to, but if they can, I like the Vikes.
Yeah, I'm going to be off the Nords this week. I've taken them all year, but I'm not seeing anything
You're not.
that causes me to say they're going to beat the Redskins. I think the Redskins are a decent team. I think they match up well. They can run the ball. Cousins can do enough against what's looking like an exposed secondary for Minnesota. It just boggles my mind that this would happen. And I'm only taking the Redskins because I've taken Minnesota the whole way through, and it's not working anymore. Rooting Vikings, taking Redskins.
All right, Packers at Titans, and I got to tell you, when Aaron Rodgers comes out and goes like, "We just didn't care on the sidelines," that's a bad sign. And everybody's been seeing that. You don't like him?
I don't like Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, I'm okay.
As a person, he's a great quarterback.
I'm okay with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm okay with what he said. He's on that sideline. He's an experienced NFL, MVP level quarterback. If he says his team was flat, his team was flat. They have no reason to be flat. They get paid millions of dollars. They only play 16 games. They're in it, but they were flat. And a kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game might flatten you out a bit. But, you're professionals. You have to work through that. You have to go, okay, that's 7. We gave it up, but we can get it right back. You're just not seeing that out of the Packers. And you are kind of seeing that out of the Titans. They're fighting hard. Derrick Henry got hurt. But DeMarco Murray and Marcus Mariota are making plays. Mariota is making a lot of plays with his feet. Very, very athletic quarterback. Gutsy, willing to take a hit, not a guy that looks for the sideline.
Looks a little bigger than he did last year, doesn't he? Didn't he look a little?
Yeah, probably.
Jacked?
Yeah, speaking of Jack, check those babies out.
Oh, yeah.
But he seems to. I go hot and cold on Mariota. If you watch this show, you'll hear me go like, he's the best. He sucks. He's the best. He sucks. But he impressed me last week, and I like him here against the Packers, who are flat and on the road.
Yeah, we've been saying that the Titans are kind of starting to gel. They're starting to find themselves. I think Aaron just kind of, puts the blame on everybody else and doesn't take the blame, as a team. He sort of points fingers, and that's what I don't like about him. Anyway, he looks ordinary this year, and he has a 0 run game to support this. So he has to throw the ball. They can't run the ball. I think the Titans can do a little more on the ball control side, and I think they have a very good chance at home to beat the Packers. If this were in Green Bay, but I'm taking the Titans.
No, I think we're in agreement. Dolphins, Chargers, go Stu.
Well, we haven't beaten the Jets at home since 2011, so this was a quirky. Thank you, Kenyon Drake, you monster. And while I would like to jump on the Finns bandwagon here, the Chargers are playing really well and they can chuck the ball. Gates, what is he, 74 years old?
Yeah, he's come alive.
Oh my God.
Well, Hunter Henry got hurt.
But
so.
I think Miami can get the J train going here with Jay Ajayi, and I think they'll eke out a win here. It is a bit of a homer pick, but I'm sensing that Gase finally has tapped into something with this team where they believe in themselves. When they get down, they can come back. I still don't think Ryan Tannehill's the answer. He's the answer this year, but I think the team has gelled. I think they bought into Adam Gase. And I think they can win this game.
I'd agree with you if it was in Miami, but it's not. The Chargers were 3-1 at home. Melvin Gordon was showing some desire. He was, he
had a
running,
great game. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running hard, and that's not something you always see out of the Chargers. And Rivers is slinging it. I think he's got 17 touchdowns against 7 interceptions.
Yeah, he's having a great year.
QBR is around a 96, 97. I like what I'm seeing out of the Chargers. I think this will be a fairly high-scoring game. Can you guys run the ball effectively again?
Find out.
Yeah, I mean, two 200-yard games and a 100-yard game against a very good Jets defense, missing a couple of key players in the first quarter, but
but that's not when he had his runs.
No, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I'm making sort of fun of the Jets there. Look at those guns. Speaking of,
He just pulled something.
yeah. It was a 45, but it turned into a 22.
It's actually a water gun.
This one's a Jay-Z Red Rider.
Easy to shoot your eye out.
Anyway, we're going to disagree on this one.
Right.
I think that the Chargers D is also more likely to come up with a turnover or two to turn this game versus the Dolphins' ability to take the ball away. I like the Chargers. 49ers cards. 49ers are like we are right now, leaderless because we don't know who's going to be in charge.
We don't know. It's election night.
But they really are right now. They're leaderless. They're kind of done. They're a listless team. Cardinals need this game badly. I hate all these ties this year. We've had that weird couple of ties, and it makes it very confusing when you look at the standings. See, I'm not a math major, but
It's a
I swear to God, you throw in these ties, and then you throw in the buys.
It's a tie. Who won?
No, but I mean, like, if you look at the standings, they're 4-3-1, and they're going against somebody who's 4-4.
You gotta look at the winning
but the
percentage.
other team's 4-5. Come on. Stop tying. Play until you die. Play until the other team just throws in the towel.
Rip their heads off and roll them like bowling balls.
There should be they should have like penalty shots at the end.
I still think if you kick the ball off through the upright on the kickoff, you get 1 point and the ball comes out to the 20.
What is this, Arena League?
No, but you know what? They're all kicking it to the end zone anyway. Make it man. You could win a game with seconds left on the kickoff. If you just tied the score, you could win the game on the kickoff. Makes it interesting.
There you go, Stu rule. I think I hate it because you've just had the ball and then you have the ball again to win. I don't like it.
All right.
But yeah, just have the kickers fight it out on the 50-yard line. Just kicker fight until one taps.
I just wrote Blair.
In which case, Blair Walsh, who seems to be a really nice
Blair
guy,
Walsh Project.
might if he knows jiu-jitsu, I'll keep Blair Walsh around for those ties. Anyway, I like the Cards in this one. They need it to stay in the division. The 49ers have packed up and are looking for a new coach and probably a new GM at this point. Cowboys, Steelers, a lot of this hinges on Big Ben, and if he's healthy, it's in Pittsburgh. But at 7-1, with I think the second best point differential in the NFL, and the ability to just steamroll you, I have to like the Cowboys here. I actually, this hurts me to say it, but right now they are the class of the NFC. They're on a 7-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to pick against them? You know what I mean? I would love
like I
to
did
see
with Minnesota.
I would love to see the Steelers come out here right now and hit Antonio Brown all night, and I'd love to see the Cowboys falling apart and Des Bryant having a fit. But right now, they are clicking. The offense keeps the defense off the field. The defense has gotten better because it's well rested and not out there every 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They're remarkably healthy so far this year, except for Bryant, and he's back. I like the Cowboys.
I think the best thing for Dallas.
I don't like the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys will win.
Okay,
Let me clarify that.
I'm picking the Steelers, but I think the best thing that's happened to Dallas so far is Jerry Jones has kept his Skeletor hands out of the pie. He's got Dak Prescott.
What are you talking about, Stu? We're winning in Dallas.
Yeah, and you're winning
We've
without.
got that young guy. He's pretty good.
He's
And
not
that
a-
other young guy. Where are the hookers? You said there would be hookers at the Cosmo Club tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's election
I'm
night.
not
They're all
staying.
out blowing the
I need
politicians.
cocaine and hookers. I'm Jerry Jones.
Thank you. Ow, that hurt.
Wow.
Wow.
That was scary.
Yeah.
More like Skeletor.
That was Scary Jerry.
But he's not imposing his will on them like he has in the past. He's kind of let the team, they're winning. Why would you screw up that formula and try to get Tony Romo back in? Even though he says Tony Romo's my man, they're kind of like, Tony Romo's the man, but he's not ready to play yet, so we're going to keep him over here yet. However, this is a classic matchup. It's the Cowboys and the Steelers. It's like the 70s, you know. It's two good teams that are going to battle it out in Pittsburgh. They are home. They need a win. Dallas can get away with a loss here. If they're going to lose a game and your 7-game win streak can come to an end, why not have it here when it's really kind of a meaningless game to them overall? If you're going to lose, I say lose to the Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers.
How is it, Jerry? What's his name? Jason Garrett. Doesn't age. Still got that red hair.
Jason-
He's like 70. He's got red hair. Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett's Andy from Toy Story.
Oh, goodness. Seahawks at Pats. And I'm going to do a quick Richard Sherman rant.
Go.
Now, there are certain players that somehow are always in the midst of like weird controversies, and Sherman has been that guy for the last couple of years. That was a bizarre play, and Dean Blandino is tweeting like we should have called a penalty. I don't know how you don't call a penalty. And again, all season we've been complaining about the refs. Well, yeah, they screwed Buffalo in ways that it's hard to come up with. Your kicker gets destroyed by a guy that was offside and there's no penalty, and then you have to take him out because he got destroyed by a guy that should have been called for a penalty. So you have to spike the ball. So you've effectively iced the kicker for Seattle. Then the ref is like holding the ball like, hey, you can't have this. I'm not setting this thing down. 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Kick it now, bitches. And then you back Buffalo up and they miss. And you know, if you watch this show, we're not exactly huge Rex Ryan guys, but man, he had a complaint there. Like, that was some BS.
I'm going to disagree.
Oh, goodness. Why? Because he touched the ball?
No, not because he touched the ball. Was there a whistle? I don't know the answer to this.
He says there was not.
Okay. If there's no whistle and the kicker's continuing to kick, it looks like the kicker didn't stop because he heard a whistle. So the play looked like it was happening to me. I was watching the game, and I assumed it was just going to be a block kick. It didn't look like everybody stopped moving because they heard a whistle. That's my only complaint. Sherman did reach down and touch the ball, so something is up on that. So I will give the edge to Buffalo in the complaint. But why is Carpenter still kicking the ball if there's a whistle? And he sees a guy is coming at him 100 miles an hour. My natural reaction is to not kick the ball.
No, I agree with you. And let me clarify. I don't think Richard Sherman was trying to hurt him.
Oh, no, you could say he moved his body away.
I think he was trying to stop the kick. I just think that if a guy that is offsides has a free run at a quarterback or a kicker and hits them in any fashion, it's a penalty.
But the kick went into him. He didn't hit the kicker. The kicker hit him. No? Am I wrong?
The ass end of him was going to hit that kicker one way or the other, and it was creating a dangerous play.
But the angle was that
I know what you're saying. You're saying if Carpenter had just stood there, he would have missed him.
He would have missed him.
But Carpenter's job is to move forward and kick the ball, because if he's
Which
wrong,
goes to the point that there might not have been a whistle.
yeah, which goes to the point that the referee screwed up again.
Oh, yeah.
because
Well, I'm not
there
saying the
should have
refs
been a
didn't screw
whistle.
up.
I mean, the larger point is Richard Sherman, who appears to be a very smart guy, is always in the midst of these things.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And he spends an awful damn lot of the time biting the hand that feeds him. He complains about the NFL and the way it's run and the refereeing, but
continues
Seattle,
to cash a check.
yeah, and Seattle roll it back. Seattle keeps getting these calls, unlike Monday night games. What was that? The one where they pulled the Packer down.
Yeah, the interception that wasn't.
The one they batted it out of the end zone. Seattle seems to be the beneficiary of a lot of these calls, and Richard Sherman's whining about everything. If it's that miserable, go get a different job. You hate your employer that much, go look on the free market.
Doesn't hate the checks.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But let me tell you, I like the Pats in this one. Seattle has not been impressive, including the game against Buffalo, where Buffalo was able to move the ball pretty freely, and the referees were able to move the ball back on them pretty freely. The Pats are on a 4-game win streak. They're at home. Seattle is coming off a short, they have the shortened week, and they're coming off an emotional game. I like the Pats in this one.
I do too. Plus, the Pats have those 3 little white midget receivers that nobody can find. I don't think Seattle can keep up with them. And Tyrod Taylor moved the Bills quite easily against the Seattle defense. That's not even Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tom Brady.
But they're very different quarterbacks too. I mean, Tyrod Taylor is a little more mobile than Tom Brady.
Yeah, but still, the bombs that he had a lot of time back there. Brady's going to pick him apart. I don't think this is even close.
Okay, we're in agreement on that.
All right.
Bengals Giants. I'll let you roll on the last one.
All right. So this comes down to the quarterbacks: Andy Dalton, Eli Manning. Giants still don't have a run game. Cincinnati pretends to have a run game, but I'm not sure that they do. But still, we get Beckham and Green on the same field. Not at the same time, but obviously on the same field at night. This is going to be a good game to watch just for those two. I think it's going to be a wide open pass the ball contest. I don't think either defense can stop either offense. I think it's last ball wins or kind of a last turnover game. I'm going to take the Giants because they're home, and that's the only reason. But I think this will be a very entertaining, high-scoring, pass-oriented game.
Okay, I'm in full agreement on this. It's a very tough game to call. They are close talent-wise. The Giants are on a very unimpressive 3-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home, and they are loaded with the pass receivers. The lack of Cincinnati has a better running game than the Giants. The Giants have no running game.
Right.
It's going to come down to which team pressures the opposing quarterback better.
Right.
And I think the Giants can do that at home. I think they'll be a little charged up, and I think they have a little pop in their step from a big win last week and from a 3-game winning streak and home field advantage and being on national TV. So I'm going with the Giants. I would not be surprised if we were both wrong on this.
Yeah,
one.
I wouldn't either.
It's a very close game, but I like Eli and the Giants
Yep.
over Andy and the Bengals. And that is electric.
The
football.
polls are closed. The show is over.
The show is never over because you are free to comment down below. We love it. We thank everybody who's been viewing.
Yeah, 1,000 hits for us. That was, I think, a record.
We appreciate all the comments and anybody that's subscribed recently.
Yes, thank you.
I
And
won't-
we do. We love to chit-chat with you guys, so don't be afraid. And gals.
I'm Jerry Jones. I love the gals. Where the women at? Bring me the women. The young women. I'm Jerry Jones.
Vote, America. See you next
And
week.
don't vote for Jerry Jones.
That's right. Bye-bye.